Greetings. This is the construct, a blank slate. From here, everything is possible. Why do you see this? Is because of light. How do you define light? Photons. What is a photon? A photon is an elementary particle, the quantum of light, and all other forms of electromagnetic radiation. It is the force carrier for the electromagnetic force, even when static via virtual photons. The effects of this force are easily observable at the microscopic and the macroscopic level. Because the photon has zero rest mass, this allows long-distance interactions. Einstein, in the past, called it spooky action in the distance. Well, everything interacts through light. Light travels, light communicates, light can be stored. Solar cells, solar power. This is not magic, this is mere science, and this is where we come into place, describing to you what photonic infusion and bringing you what I'm about to demonstrate right now. I am the inventor and the creator of the famous Gammatron key. 22 rings for chakratic in and output, filled this device with nanospherical quartz sand as a pendant, aka pendulum, next to your heart. Science has found out, if you want to Google that, Bogan channels by an Asian doctor, that you have photonic channels that actually are the meridians that run through your body. The Russians also have found out that your photonic in and output can be measured by basically putting a photosensitive pen to your fingertip, and then each organ has a certain light capacity. So health can be measured by what's the light capacity of the human body and the human vessel. So we found out that photons can be actually stored in nanotechnology, as in nanospherical quartz sand, which is what I am basically utilizing in the tools that I'm presenting today. So I found out that there are certain effects when people, and I even want to challenge the skeptics that don't believe in this, they get the key and they can sense it when they touch it. Naturally, because your body is photosynthetic, meaning the photosynthesis, it means you are responsive to sunlight, which is not magic, it's simple biology. You're in the sun, you thrive. Put you in a cave, you wither away. Same thing happens to plant. You got to nurture the plant, you got to nurture the body, you got to nurture the vessel, the suit as you travel this dimension. Let's not drift off too far into the fringe science, what people say this would be. We have physical effects with this thing, which I'm proud to announce is that not only does that regulate your heart rate, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and how your body picks its own diet without you following external impulse, is your light capacity of actually telepathically knowingness, of knowing what is good for you and what is bad for you, will be reinstated and comes back. So for those who are seeking what the so-called terminology of opening the third eye, opening the higher senses, being more intuitive, it's the same thing. What I'm doing with this key is I'm bringing a little bit of nature back to your body because you lost it in your home and household. 60 hertz of electromagnetic interference hitting your body that has you can say a mild effect on your immune system and your senses. So if you're in the woods, your senses kick in after a couple of days, your body recalibrates, you sleep on the ground, back pain disappears. We know all this, but we want this biohacking our environment. You want to bring it home. So here's the idea. I took the nanospherical quartz sand, which was inspired by an institute that studies cell resonance, and the Russians have found out that the cell resonance and DNA repair, as in DNA activation by the sun, occurs when the light actually is 10 to the 15th. Now, the institute has developed photonic cannons, which enables them to produce nanospherical quartz sand, which is the nanotech that is in here, and direct photons and negatively ionize the sand, which has a storage capacity of 15,000 years linear timeline, which means that this is the beginning of zero field technology. What happens here is actually solar fractal capacity is being created. What does that mean? If you have a field out in, let's say, on the acres, and the grass grows green and the trees and everything blooms and blossoms, nature is intact. Meaning once we have developed the technology to see and look into this, what that actually means, it shows you that magnetic fields are actually in harmony. They're communicating. The ley lines are connected. Ley lines are magnetic lines where photonic energy and magnetic energy is being exchanged between power and nodal points on the ground, which can be measured. It's not magic. So we found out when you find geopathic zones, let's say a withered tree, the bush doesn't grow, the grass is type gray and dried out, and it's not really actually working. What do we see? We see a geopathic zone as in a stress zone that shows you that nature right now is not in harmony. It doesn't sing the melody, that the angels don't sing in one choir, meaning we don't have harmonic resonance. What is the effect? If you don't have harmonic resonance, the grass doesn't grow, the bush withers, the tree is sick. So this can be recalibrated by adding nanospherical quartz sand to the ground. It could be a pebble or it could be just the sand. The grass comes back, the tree comes back, nature recalibrates. So I was thinking, if this has an effect and structures nature and brings back the original source energy, which is what Earth is needing to, where we need to go, what effect would that have if I, long trials and error, clip it to a fuel line? So I took my key, took the technology, put the sand in the key, put it in a stainless steel container because stainless steel directs the photons outwards, called it the Ra cell. After a long process, clipped it to a fuel line, started with a Jeep Cherokee, and all of a sudden, 47% in fuel savings, because something happens with the fuel flow through structure in the motor. It begins to structure itself, it begins to harmonize. Not only that, the car turned into a partial non-polluter, meaning the emission rate dropped to 87%. The black smoke that came out of trucks all of a sudden stopped. So I developed, you can say, a bigger cell, which is an industrial size Ra cell, stainless containment, stainless steel, and filled it with a liquid. I was thinking, if the body is liquid and is also crystalline, let's see if we have a liquid crystalline aspect ratio here with a certain frequency treatment, if that could be changed. Well, guess what? We have managed with a Kenmore truck and a Peterbilt truck to save up to 9 miles per gallon. So these things will be filmed in the future, and my dream is to be on TED Talks to share this phenomenal information, where I simply do what science does or doesn't do. Is I look at things, compare and put things together, and I modify, refine, amplify, and expand systems, which is my hobby and my passion. Since I was 11, I've been reading books just about what is what, how does this function, and this is what I do. So I'm sharing with you the knowledge that I have a fuel efficiency device that will make your car run efficient, more torque, less RPMs when in idle, the car running, the viscosity of oil staying pristine. Instead of 3,000 miles oil turning black, your oil can last up to 6,000 to 7,000 miles staying in pristine condition. The wear and tear on the tires as I'm changing the field, meaning the subatomic structure of a field, if that is changed, changes matter. Let me explain this to you. If I take regular paint that you will paint your living room with and place it next to, let's say, 1/2 ton nanospherical quartz sand, after 4 days, the paint will turn to chalk and oil, and everything will structure back to its natural format. This forces systems to go back into the original system structure and restructure the system. So the big cell, the Ra cell, is basically for your house and home, to restructure your house and home, fractalize the energy, ionize the air, bring back the original light information that is needed. It is distorted by your regular windows in your home because they are lead. There's lead in it, and lead diffuses the sunlight and the UV rays that come in, and it kind of diffuses and confuses the light information from the sun hitting your DNA. So simply what I'm doing, and I need scientists to help me in the future because I don't have a scientific formula background. I'm more of the guy, give me a visual, show me what it does, and place several items in front of me, and I'll tell you how to combine them and make that system work better. And I think I'm an expert because I've been doing that since I was 5 years old. Whether it was Lego blocks, so I would define myself as a master constructor or master builder. And when I say these things, I know what I'm talking about and I know how this works. I also had an offer from a lady, which I'm hoping to find that contact in the near future, that they having problems with a place next to Joshua Tree. It is called Bear Lake. It's probably 100 miles away from that, where the lake, the pH level has dropped. The water levels don't look so great. And I have just the device, when funded, to bring that lake back by just restructuring the original photonic in and output information that is needed on a subatomic level to the higher structural level. Let me break down how these atomic and communication levels work so you have an understanding. You have your RNA. Let's just take 2 human cells, and there's an impulse regulation between your cells on a very, very, very tiny level. And the Russians have found out that in order for a healthy organism to function, you need 100,000 light impulses photonically being exchanged between the cells. For that impulse exchange, the cells need to be lit. If they're not lit enough, and let's say you're running on 35,000 impulses per, let's say, nanosecond, well, guess what? You probably have the flu, or your immune system is half sick. You maybe carry Lyme or lupus or cancer. All of these has these symptoms and to do with a structure that is unlight, as an unholy, meaning we're not lit enough. And if we can bring this battery back up and fire it back up and bring the light levels back up and adjust everything according to the original designer has planned it for us, we can get into what we call the magical state or the avatar state and live our life to a greater human potential. And therefore, don't miss out on a chance to acquire these devices. This is the Gammatron key, 22 rings, 7 chakras for the 3rd dimensions, 7 for the 4th, and 7 for the 5th. And the 22nd chakra is you, namely the observer. This is all based on holy geometry. This is a suction cup, brings in the energy of the ions that basically brass, metal, steel. This is brass, iodized color. And it can have a tremendous effect on your life, life-changing, for subtle effects to higher output. That is what you require in your life. And read the testimonials under my YouTube channel. I have over 1 million views. I don't have to hide. Not one key out of the keys that I've sold has been returned as of today. And everybody's happy. I have sold the fuel efficiency devices. Not one has been returned. There will be more demo videos where I will actually demonstrate how this works, how you take the device and then you clip it to your tank outlet, the fuel going from the tank to the engine. That's before it hits anything. We restructure the fuel, make it fuel, the flow structure of it under photonic influence better, which nobody, I believe, has really looked at. Maybe several people tried it with magnets and this and that. We're not talking about 1% change. I want at least 30% change, 15% of a minimum in savings when you're a reckless driver and you misuse your car and you're driving offensive. But when in tune, also, this is conscious technology. Just like a tale with Nikola Tesla, when they tried to replicate his generator, it didn't work. And when Tesla came in and touched the device, the generator would work. Let me bring that back to the mythological tales of Egypt, which is also a scientific tale. The priest that was in tune with the technology that he built embodied the technology, and he was the one to initiate and to turn on pyramids and generators in the past. If you want to believe or be in resonance with that. When misuse came in, things shut down and they stopped working. So I had one case where somebody actually tried to get into my patent and steal this, and everything stopped working for that being. Because this is conscious technology, this responds to the source giver as I'm bringing it in. And if people misuse that, this cannot be weaponized, this cannot be stolen, this cannot be hacked. This is based on me touching it, activating it, and showing you physical results that this has an impact on you, on your life, making things better, turning cars into partial non-polluters, And this is the main purpose for me to be here as in planetary assistance, planetary repair. I think it is required. I think it is needed. This is not so magical. If I fill up a half a ton of this device, you couldn't even have that in your backyard because you won't be able to sleep because your body is not even used to that much photonic input. Thank you for your time and listening to what I had to share with you. My name is Arcturus Ra. Check my teachings on my channel. I go deeper into the science as we go into the realm and new things will be released. Check my Etsy store and thank you so much for your time and I hope you enjoyed me. And peace to all the TED Talk lovers. I hope I kept it real with you and in that sequence I made it as short and simple as possible. If you have questions, get at me. People and industry, I'm open to talk. If you want to help, if you assist, I'm right here. Again, thank you so much. God bless. And I see you most definitely on a photonized, activated, crystalline clear lit side, which we call the flip side. Thank you.